Now, who is responsible for the 90 days or more he had spent in solitary, dark, isolated cells, charged under the Prevention of Terrorism Act, called as a terrorist? Who is responsible for that? And our very own Vasantha Mudalige continues to spend time in prison being called a terrorist. And why is he a terrorist? Because he being such a young person, such a young youth, he gave leadership to the Aragalaya, which did the unthinkable, which got rid of an invincible executive president, chased him out of this country, and Vasantha Mudalige gave leadership. And for that, today, he is being called a terrorist. Now, this is not something new. Thousands of Tamil youth and thousands of Muslim youth also have been called terrorists when they have done nothing. And this is the nature of the Prevention of Terrorism Act, which several of us have been speaking for decades about. The Prevention of Terrorism Act is rightfully called a notorious and extraordinary law, where once you go under the PTA, even lawyers don't know what to do with you. Even we don't know. When we represent our clients, even we don't know when the client is going to come out, when the charges are going to be framed, when they are going to be given bail, or when they will be given bail at all, or whether our clients are going to spend decades in prison. Even we don't know that. And that's why it's rightfully called a legal black hole when someone is charged under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. The rationale used for using PTA by repressive governments like the Sri Lankan governments is that terrorism is an extraordinary situation, therefore you need extraordinary laws. But to date, consecutive governments have failed to explain how our judiciary, particularly the magistrates, whom I know for a fact, open the magistrates' court very late in the night to remand or bail out suspects, how our judiciary has failed to meet the challenges of extraordinary situations like, for instance, bomb attack. So the rationale which has been used to keep prevention of the legislations like the Prevention of Terrorism Act in existence has absolutely no basis. And this rationale and this logic continues to be played out in Parliament when Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, backed up by the Rajapaksas, come and tell Parliament that we are going to get rid of the Prevention of Terrorism Act and pass a new anti-terror law. So, my friends, I just want to remind you that the Prevention of Terrorism Act is only part of the story. We are also going to be faced with a new counter-terror legislation, which is going to be equally or worse than the Prevention of Terrorism Act, and which will continue to haunt our country for the next several decades. So while we ask for the repeal of the PTA, we also have to take a strong stance against counter-terror legislation, because counter-terrorism has always, without an exception, been used in this country to suppress rightful and democratic dissent which has arisen against repressive governments. So I call for the release of Vasantha Mudalige and Siridhamma Hamaduru, all charges dropped. I call for the release of innocent people like Vasantha Mudalige and Siridhamma Hamaduru, and I call upon the government to stop calling them terrorists. I call upon the government to release all persons who have been charged under the Prevention of Terrorism Act, and if they have in fact committed something, to charge them under normal law. What is preventing the government from charging them under normal penal law? I cannot understand the rationale. And also, finally, I want to tell the Ranil Rajapaksa government, he made a very interesting statement in Parliament that he will not allow a new Aragalaya to come about. I just want to say that the people of this country did not ask the Rajapaksas to start the first Aragalaya. And given that the Ranil Rajapaksa budget has not addressed any of the economic concerns of the people, has not addressed the hunger and the starvation which our people are facing, and next Aragalaya is coming, and no one is going to be sitting and asking Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe for his permission, whether he brings the military or not. The next Aragalaya is coming. Thank you.
We saw the budget has been present to the Parliament, but can the people be happy about what is happening at the right now? A large sum of money has been received only for the national security. From whom we are being threatened? Who is trying to invade Sri Lanka? Is there someone who's trying to invade Sri Lanka? No. Why? Still, they are doing the same thing. Even the struggle has never been ended. It's still continuing. Only the evacuation of the gold face has been done only, but the people, the struggle is in their hearts. So we are urging, or we are just clearly giving this message to Mr. Wickramasinghe. You has only been elected through the constitutional process only. You lost your seat, even the recently concluded parliamentary election. Thanks to the Rajapaksa regime and the ministers and the parliamentarians of the parliament, only you were selected. So don't try to play the same thing again and again. People are aware of what you are doing. You are just protecting the Rajapaksas as you did earlier. You two are being the best friends in this business. So same thing you are doing, and no relief has not been granted to the people. We have seen the former financial minister, Basil Rajapaksa. He came nicely through the VIP launch and enjoyed all the facilities. Who is he now? He's just a normal, ordinary citizen, like all of us. What is the privilege he's enjoying now? The correct place for him has to be the jail, the cell. But what is Mr. Wickramasinghe is doing? He is just giving nice speeches and saying that he is trying his best to put the country back to the right road or the right path, but no particular fruitful step has been taken by him. So we want citizens to be aware. We want people to be aware. The struggle has to be continued in a proper way. We are not promoting violence. We are asking the people to come, face this reality. Sri Lanka is dying day by day. There is no hope for the people in the country. Children cannot go attend to their schools properly. The stationery prices have been increased dramatically. No steps have been taken. If we take the budget report, look at the amount has been received for the education and the healthcare sector. They are only thinking about themselves. They are only compensating their own fellows only. Now we saw recently a considerable compensation of huge amount of money has been given to the late minister who died during the incident in May 9th. What about the other people? How many have died during the struggle? How many have been killed by the police brutally? Have they been compensated? No, not a single penny has been given to them. So citizens, be aware, be on alert, that as the lawyers, we always, they are your back to safeguard your rights. At the time when you are coming forward, from the 31st of March 2022, from the Mirihana incident, we have been safeguarding your rights. We are coming forward. We have been there always. So it's you to take up the first step. And as long as you've been silent, these jokers will do the same thing again and again. And after their term, they will have their full up their pocket and they will go run to another country. But this is our country. This is yours country and this is mine country. This is the only country we have to have our life, to spend our life. We don't have much money, or we don't have the luxurious life as they have to go the country whatever we want. So please be on alert and come forward and think this again and again, because the country needs your service, the country needs your duty. Thank you.
The News Reporter. වාරණයෙන් තොර අපක්ෂපාතී වාර්තාකරණය.